Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's NASP Community Questions Facebook Live. Hope you had a fantastic Labor Day weekend if you are in the U.S., or just a fantastic weekend if you're elsewhere in the country. All right, let's jump into our community question for today, and that is, what is the best way to stay accountable to a new sales habit? As we know, sales and success in sales is not so much done in the short term, but over the longer term as we develop powerful sales habits of consistently prospecting, following up, adding value, and ultimately closing the sale. So to jump in and first answer today's question is Michelle, our Director of Global Sales Development. And I'll just repeat the question one more time. What is the best way to stay accountable to a new sales habit? So basically, what's the best way to actually implement and stay consistent with a new sales habit?
Rick, our Vice President of Sales and Marketing, thank you for that question. And I love that the question, I heard it once when we started, and then when you just asked me, I heard it again, and there was a key word in there that I just wanted to pull out and to speak to in best. So the thing about best is my best is different from Rick's best. Rick's best is different from my best. We all have a different level of best. And until you understand what that is, you are going to make a few attempts at creating that success and that consistency that you want. Be willing to test and see what works best for you. So I just wanted to say that and understand that it's going to be different. For me, I know putting an appointment on my calendar so I have a reminder and accountability to someone else, telling someone else that I have set the goal and having that accountability, not coming at me like you said you were, you didn't do this, but more of how's it going? How can I support you? Someone else who is succeeding and someone else who's being accountable to their goals as well. So we are moving towards similar, not the same, but similar goals together. So I find that having that accountability outside of myself and some measure or marker that lets me know my consistency on a daily basis. I look for doing things. We have a term, and it's not ours. We didn't coin it, but I love that we use it. And our conditioning is that inch by inch, anything is a cinch, and yard by yard, everything is hard. So think in terms of what can I do a little bit every day so that I create the habit. And once it becomes a habit, then you can expand upon it. So if it's making sales calls because they freak me out, for example, then just make a couple of calls a day. You just want to build the muscle of, the muscle of the reach. You just build the muscle of the reach first, and then you can expand on the conversation. But yes, I love this question, and I love habits, because once it becomes a habit, you don't even think about it, and that's where the expansion of your abilities comes in. Rick, your thoughts on this question?
I love it. And it was cool how you said you pulled the word best out of the question. What's the best way for me? And it could be different for everybody. However, we do know a few key points that make it much easier. Like you said, appointment on my calendar to stay consistent with, an accountability buddy to hold me accountable. So this is a huge part of what the National Association of Sales Professionals does and seeks to do in our programs. So the first thing I'll throw out there is, if you're not already a member of NASP, go and sign up as a free member. And with your free complimentary membership, we have a program called the Daily Sales Success Program, which is a program that is designed to take you anywhere from 30 seconds to 3 to 5 minutes per day to complete that activity for the day. The activities are designed to be very positive sales habits. So, and I wasn't actually going to say this, but when Michelle said, what's the best way for you? Make it a point to develop completing that free program as a habit. You get a daily email into your inbox, and you can kind of test yourself and see, okay, I'm going to set the intention of making this a daily habit for me. How difficult is this going to be? What type of patterns are going to come up for me that are going to make me not want to continue doing this and not create it into a daily habit in my life. And what you'll probably notice, what I've noticed, is the same patterns that show up for me that seek to stop me from creating a new habit are the same that show up for a variety of different habits that I look to create. So, and these patterns that come up usually come up 2 to 3 weeks after I start. So I would challenge you to sign up for the Daily Success Program, start it, and commit to doing it for at least a month every day and see what comes up for you. So the other key factors that I'll just throw out there, answers to this question, is number one, who are you spending your time around? If you're setting the intention of consistently adding new powerful sales habits to your daily routine that over time are gonna create a return for you and eventually create an exponential return, just like in investing. If I get a 10% return every year, that's awesome. If I get a 10% return every month, that the compound effect is going to be massive. Number two, conditioning. What are you already doing every day that you can add a new habit on top of? Maybe it's a morning routine. Maybe it's a after the gym routine. Maybe it's a get back from lunch routine. Maybe it's a after I pour my first cup of coffee in the morning routine. So basically, what kind of things are you already doing every day? Coffee is a good one because it's the most approved. Hopefully this is politically correct. It's the most approved addictive behavior that we have in corporate America that we can kind of build other things upon. Because I know a lot of people, first coffee in the morning, first thing, I'd put money on them doing that every day. So that's a great thing to start building other habits on top of. And then finally, the other thing that can work really well is big metaphorical events. So if I'm getting a promotion and getting a new title, or maybe moving to a new office, or maybe even moving to a new city, that reset is a great opportunity to sneak some new really good habits in there. Right. So when I can associate my new environment with stepping my identity and my habits up to the next level. So whenever you're going through, and I just moved, so I'm about to move again in about a month. So each time I move, I'm trying to think, how can I set up my new daily routine in a way that I can add some more really good habits in there and maybe cut out some of the bad habits that I have. This is a never-ending process for me, and I think for everyone. So that's what comes to mind for me to answer this question. What is the best way to stay accountable to new sales success habits? Any final thoughts, Michelle, before we wrap up?
I absolutely love this conversation about the daily success habits and what you said about sneaking in some additional things. And that's been shown through research that piggybacking on top of an existing habit is the best way to build and increase your positive outcome-driven habits. So I agree with that. And look at anything that you're already consistently doing and add one thing. I challenge you not to go overboard, but to think in terms of inch by inch. Just build. Rome wasn't built in a day, and all great things or great achievements and accomplishments start small. So add one thing and get really good at that, then add another. Give yourself grace, and before you know it, the pace will be that of incredible and amazing success. So this is a great conversation, and I look forward to seeing you guys chiming in on the Daily Sales Success on NASP.
Yes, join the Daily Sales Success. We'll put a link in the comments here. Well, actually, there's a link in the description above to join. And as soon as you join, the next screen you go to, it will say, enroll in the Daily Success Program for free. So definitely take advantage of that. Thank you for tuning in today for our weekly member questions. We look forward to seeing you next week. Have a fantastic week and happy selling.